Okay, I'm going to talk here about problem set F for BB350. The first question says that your friend says her doctor told her that cancer is caused by proto-oncogenes. The question is, what do you tell her? And I guess if my friend told me that, I would tell him to get another doctor. The reason being that what causes cancer are not proto-oncogenes, but rather oncogenes. Remember that proto-oncogenes are abundant in our cells. They are important in all kinds of processes in our cells, including signaling, decisions to divide, control of gene expression, a variety of things. And as long as they're not mutated, they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do, which is to help a cell to perform its normal functions and so forth. When a proto-oncogene suffers a mutation such that its function becomes aberrant, then that proto-oncogene can become an oncogene. So a proto-oncogene is unmutated, will not cause cancer. A mutated proto-oncogene becomes an oncogene, and that oncogene can lead to aberrant behavior of a cell, causing it ultimately to divide uncontrollably. The second question says, when a reaction A going to B is at equilibrium, okay, there is more B than A. B is greater than A. All right. What can you say about the delta G 0 prime? Well, let's go to the Gibbs free energy equation and answer this question. So the Gibbs free energy equation tells us that delta G is equal to delta G 0 prime plus RT times the natural log of products over reactants, which in this case is B over A. Okay. We start out by saying this reaction is at equilibrium, so when we're at equilibrium, delta G is equal to 0, and that's equal to the delta G 0 prime plus RT times the natural log of B all over A. Well, we're told that B over A, there's more B than there is A, so that means that this ratio is greater than 1, okay? Greater than 1, and the natural log of a number greater than 1 is a positive number. Well, what does that mean? R is a positive number, T is a positive number, so a positive number times a positive number times this log term, which is also a positive number, means that this overall term is a positive number. What does that mean about delta G 0 prime? Well, if delta G 0 prime is added to a positive number and gives 0, that means that delta G 0 prime must be a negative number. And that's what we can say about this problem. Problem 3 says that when a reaction A going to B has a delta G 0 prime that's less than 0, and there's more A than there is B, what can you say about delta G? All right. Well, again, let's go back to the Gibbs free energy equation. Delta G is equal to delta G 0 prime plus RT times the natural log of the products B all over the reactants A. Okay. Well, let's first of all consider this. We've got A greater than B. If A is greater than B, that means that this ratio is less than 1, and the natural log of something less than 1 is a negative number. Well, R is a positive number, T is a positive number, and they're multiplied times a negative number. That means that the overall number here has got to be a negative number. We're told that delta G 0 prime is less than 0, which means that it also is a negative number. And so what can we say about delta G? Well, what we can say is that delta G is also a negative number. And when delta G is negative, that means that the reaction will go forwards as written. A will go to B. Okay. Problem 4 says that when A is going to B, and it has more A than B, all right? What can you say about delta G 0 prime and delta G? All right? Well, to answer this question, we need to consider something very important. So let's start with the delta G equation. Delta G is equal to delta G 0 prime plus RT times the natural log of B all over A. We're told that A is greater than B, so we've got more A than we do B, meaning that this ratio is less than 1, which means that the log term will, of course, be negative. We know that the t is positive as it always is. We know the r is positive as it always is. So positives times a negative means that this whole term here is going to be negative. Now it turns out that's the only thing in the equation that we know, because we don't know anything about this guy and we don't know anything about this guy. This is actually a trick question I just threw in here for you to understand, okay? You cannot solve any equation in which you have two unknowns and one equation. Even though I know what this number is, it tells me nothing about this number, and it tells me nothing about this number. Okay? This might be very positive, in which case this would itself be positive less a little bit amount, but this could also be very negative, and this negative as well. So whenever I have one equation and two unknowns, such as I have here, that's an unworkable problem. The last question says that a reaction A goes to B, my favorite reactions, okay, has delta G 0 prime equal to 1 and has twice as much B over A, okay? And it says, the question says, which direction will this reaction go? Well, as always, we go back to our Gibbs free energy equation, which tells us the following. In this case, I'm going to substitute 2 over 1 for B over A. And I note that I've got a positive, and this is greater than 1, so this must be a positive number, meaning that this overall number is positive. And it tells me that this number is equal to 1, and it says, which direction will the reaction go? Well, this is obviously a plus 1. This is a positive number. That means, therefore, that delta G is equal to a positive number. When delta G is positive, reactions go backwards. So instead of this going A to B, what's going to happen is B is going to go to A.